Read your book. All right. 1 o'clock. John.
Matthew Sharp is in a dark room. His camera is on. His phone's in his pocket. That's my guess.
Jessica, hi. I got some people from my bold room. Look at that. Jessica, she's in Michigan. Look at that coat. I saw Julie from my class. You guys, if you can, turn your cameras on unless you're in a tanning booth. Let's see you. And if we've not met yet, I'm Denny Grimes. I'm in Southwest Florida, and also John the Voice. Go ahead and introduce yourself, John. Everybody knows you anyway.
See, everybody knows me. I don't need to say anything. And yes, I am also in Southwest Florida, and apparently have a face for radio and a voice to match.
Yes, and we'll give you some props as people log on. John, in about less than a minute, tell us you were on probably a regional competition on doing exactly what we're teaching today. And how did you fare?
Let's see. Well, yeah, I was on the Tech the Halls through Keller Williams on Tuesday in a competition of the South Florida region versus South Texas region in scripting, and won the South Florida region. And I faced off against a gentleman from Texas and found out afterwards. Now, there's nobody, well, Sandra's from Texas, but she's from Houston, so it doesn't count. Found out afterwards that my name was not on the final ballot. So no one was able to vote for me. So in typical Florida fashion, we had a whole bunch of hanging chads, and I did not have the opportunity to win because nobody could vote for me.
Well, congratulations. You made us proud anyway. So as we get started, you guys, we are practicing mastery level role play. And your feedback has been very welcome. I appreciate the people that have given us some feedback on what they like and things we can make it better. And we're attempting to get a little more snappy. And I'll share that with you in a moment. And there is more than one way to skin a cat. What we're doing is, on the mastery level, is teaching question-based, listening-enhanced conversations. And I emphasize the question-based part there because we want to make sure we're doing a lot of asking and not telling. Drum roll, John. Give me a quick drum roll. I just looked up today. I don't know who wants to be the lucky person on the YouTube channel, the Denny Grimes, the Mastery of Real Estate. We are at 599 subscribers.
Whoever, we need 600.
Well, I don't know why. Do we need to say, is that a threshold?
Well, no, you've got a pair of tickets to Greece to the 600th person.
That's right. We'll give you for the 600 person. We'll give you 2 tickets to Greece, one of my favorite movies, and a set of rusty Ginsu steak knives that you can basically pawn off or re-gift to somebody else. Fair enough. So go to the YouTube, Denny Grimes, the Mastery of Real Estate, and you may want to. And John, this would be handy for people that are relatively new to the call. If you would put this in the chat, because this is the model that we're going to follow. So there you have it. Now, as John does that and we get ready, I'm going to give you the thought of the day. And this is part of the feedback you guys have given us. Okay, so we're going to be talking about shift conversations, shift objections, how to have conversations in a changing market. I think everybody out there is in a changing market. I don't think there's any doubt about it anymore. So there are people here on this call that may be relatively new. They're not ready to raise their hand. You can participate. You can learn by listening to your fellow agents handle objections or role play. And as we then debrief them and go back and watch the game film. So this is what we're going to be talking about today, John and I, and we're going to keep it snappy. From lead gen conversations, we are going to be, these would be your choices as you raise your hand. So you may want to make note of it, or maybe John puts it into the chat. How are you on a scale of 1 to 10 of call in your sphere? Basically, those are apples or oranges or pecans or whatever you grow in your particular area. That's low-hanging fruit. Are you letting people know? Oh, by the way, this is an awesome time of year, whether it be Christmas, holidays, Hanukkah, or whatever. People kind of are generally in a better mood, most parts of the country. Anyway, so there's a great opportunity for you to be reaching out to your sphere. So sphere call. How about, and it is legal even in New York and New Jersey. How about that, y'all? It's have a door knocking conversation, and also cold calls, which I don't like cold calls because that's kind of a negative connotation. So we will go through a session of that. Next, we're going to go into expired and unassisted sellers. This is probably where John really excels because he's been doing it a while. He's been coaching it for a while. And so we want to make sure you guys, if that's going to be a lever that you want to use, explore, you do want to make sure that you have your first minute or so anchored. It has to be like lickety split, no ums or what is it, ums and ahs?
No ums and no ahs.
No ums and no ahs, no runs, no hits, no errors. And that will be the second part of our lead gen hour today, or conversation hour today. And then we're going to handle objections, buyers and sellers. So if you want to be in the cage fighting arena of mastery level role play, raise your hand. And by you raising your hand, you're signifying you want to go in and become a cage fighter and grow your business. If you don't want to raise your hand right now, that's cool. You'll learn either way. However, the good thing is if you don't raise your hand, you won't get bruised. How about that? So we're going to go, I think maybe, I haven't figured out my timer. This has been my gift for Christmas. If you can make a timer work in PowerPoint that works with my HDMI plugged in and projecting the PowerPoint, I'll probably, again, give you automatically 2 tickets to Greece. So I've got a timer set up, and this is how we're going to roll. John and I have already talked about it. 4 minutes for the role play. All right. And many times we might be the person, the buyer seller. However, if you would like to be the buyer seller on the other end of the role play, here are the rules for you. You are not you're not going to be Freddy Krueger, number one. Number two, keep your answers short, because this is about role play. This is not about hearing about fake situations that we don't learn anything from. And when they isolate and they say, other than that, I don't want you to have any more than 1, maybe sometimes 2 objections. We cannot handle a role play, a seller with 15 different objections. Oh, and now, by the way, I'd probably refer that to the agent out there, John, I like the least. So how many hands do you have up, John, that we can maybe begin the process? We have
first up today, Denny, is Yael Wise from Lakewood, New Jersey.
Yael, haha. She is a veteran cage fighter. She's 115 pounds. She's a lightweight or a bantamweight, and she sometimes fights dirty. Okay, so here we go, Yael. Here we go. What do you want? What type of an objection, an opponent do you want in this cage fighting round?
What are the choices again?
Oh my gosh, I told you to write them down.
Oh, okay.
All right, she's almost, this is World Cup soccer. What is that, a yellow card, John? Or is that
That's a yellow card, yeah.
You get a yellow card. Here we go. Lead gen conversation. So you're calling your sphere, you're door knocking, making cold calls. You're calling expired or a for sale by owner, which I call
for sale by owner. For sale by owner.
All right, so John, you are the for sale by owner.
All right.
Okay, just before I go, just some tips other than the isolate, whatever, instead of like any just direction for sale by owners calls before I start my role play.
No, what would you say? I just handed you $20 to call them. What are you going to say?
No, I'll say whatever comes to myself.
Perfect.
Specific key things for me to prep before I speak to you, I'll take them.
Well,
I would think that you would have your scripts for sale by owners in front of you when you start making your for sale by owner calls.
Okay, let's go.
Do not wing these calls, you guys. You can wing, you're calling your mom, although she might like your brother better. Do not wing lead gen calls. Are you ready, Yael? John you are calling John, and John, would you please turn off your camera? Because in calls, you do not have what? You do not have visual, you do not have body language reaction. So Yael, you can leave your, well, actually, yeah, Yael, John will look.
All right, okay, I'll go. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, this is Yael Wise. I see that you have your house 123 Main Street for sale, and I was just had a couple of questions if you have a minute.
Yeah, what are you looking to buy it?
So I'm actually a realtor and I do a lot of business in the
Got another one?
I know. And I just wanted to know what your time frame is for getting it sold.
That 3 months.
I get it. And then it's such a beautiful house. Could I ask you what's causing you to sell such a beautiful home?
Yeah, my kids moved out and I'm going someplace warmer.
I get it. All right. So I was wondering, I'm going to be in the neighborhood on Tuesday because I have a showing there. I work with a lot of buyers and I was wondering if I could just pop in real quick and have a look around. So
you gonna bring a buyer with you?
No, just me.
Okay, so I don't get it.
So basically I have, the way that I work my business is that I'm just all like in the know of every single property. And, you know, even though you have the photos online, but when I'm in the house and I really get a feel for it. And if I have a buyer, then I'll be able to connect the two. So I just find that, you know, if it's something you're interested in, I'm happy to have a quick look.
I suppose that can't hurt.
Okay, so, all right, so I'll be there Tuesday at like 12. So how about if I come at 1?
That'll be fine. We can do that.
And then I have like, I'll bring with you some like information that I have that could be helpful for you. And I'm looking forward. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks.
Okay, done.
All right, so I don't know how to really, you guys should pin me only because behind me I have slides and I'm running a timer. So if you
And
know how
the
to do
timer's
that-
working, by the way, Denny.
I know it is working. So you did that in about just under 3 minutes. So
I would say that was a good call, Denny. I wouldn't say it was a great call.
right. So I'm going to get, I said the other, you know, we got 4 minutes to discuss and basically give some feedback. So go ahead, John, take over.
Okay, so first missed opportunity, IL. I'm going somewhere warm. Where am I going?
Florida.
You don't know that. You didn't ask.
Where are you going? Okay,
And why am I going there?
okay.
Okay, so motivation. Even though your intent for the call was a preview, motivation is still important.
I guess I was like so pressured for this like 4 minutes. So it was just like, okay, how fast can we get there?
I'm going to leave that one alone.
Well, no. In reality, you're not, you should be on and off, and you're going to have to be on and off most likely in 4 minutes or less.
Yeah, the reality of it is you won't have, most times you won't have 4 minutes. So one thing in the very beginning, Al, you mentioned your name and asked me if I was the owner of the house. I was nice to you. You didn't tell me you were a real estate agent. Every one of your brokers on the phone will tell you you need to start with your name and your brokerage. You need to disclose right up front that you're a real estate agent.
I feel like I don't play the rules and I'm not going to. Sorry, everybody out there. I just won't, because I don't associate myself with my brokerage and I don't associate myself with my profession per se. I am who I am. I'm calling, we'll get to it. Like, I'm not going to do this like blah, 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 blah.
All right. So
That's
why
why
did
they
I
call
say it
it
was a good call, not a great call, Denny?
So that's all right. So let's do it again. I don't know who wants to go next. All right, y'all. Thanks for stepping up. Let's see if I can make this.
Hey, what he wants to know why it wasn't a great call. I want to
Yeah.
know.
It was a good call, not a great call. A great call would have been you got the appointment with the expectation of having a listing appointment.
Okay.
Okay. A preview is a preview. Go in there with the intent of previewing. If you set a preview appointment and you go in and you decide that you're going to try and sell them or convince them to list, you have lost them because you broke trust.
Got it. All right. That's 4 minutes of feedback. Next up in the cage is who?
Madeline.
Madeline. All right. You have the categories. Which category would you like?
Expired, please.
Expired. Okay, John, you listen, get ready to give feedback. I will be, get ready to start. I will be the potential seller. Ready.
Oh, you're going to
set.
be the seller. Awesome. You got it.
Yeah, I want you to listen and make notes. You give the feedback. Go.
Ring ring.
Hello.
Hi, is this Danny?
Is this another agent?
Yes. What number am I? Number 10 this morning?
Well, it's probably 30, more like 30 this week. So here's my rules. You've got 30 seconds why I should talk to you and not the other 45 people that are going to call me today.
Okay, I like it. So the reason I'm calling is because I noticed that your house came off the market on Main Street. And did you end up accepting an offer on that?
Well, if I had, do you think I'd be, well, no, I have not. I won't be a smart ass. No, I have not.
Okay. Well, let me just get straight to the point. Would you consider an offer if it made sense to you?
Well, that's why we had our house for sale. Obviously, real estate agents really don't want to work. I thought this was a great market. Yes, we would sell a house. I mean, to sell the house. I mean, we're moving. We have a new job to go to, And we're very frustrated and we're not very realtor friendly like right now.
I understand. And it seems like you have a good motive. When you're moving to, where is that at? When do you have to be there? Where you're moving or transferring for a new job?
Okay, I'm a little confused.
Yeah, that's confused. I know. I confused myself. Okay.
No, that is a challenge, you guys, of not having a script.
I have a script, but it's throwing me off that I'm seeing
Keep talking,
you.
you're burning time.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're in daylight.
So where are
we're
you going
to?
to? When do you
going
have
to
to be
Knox-
there? Let's go
We're
with
going
that.
to Knoxville, have to be there in July. Actually, we have to be there for my job, 1st of July. We'd like to be settled in April.
In April. Okay. Okay. So let me ask you this, Danny. Why did you get any feedback as to why your house didn't sell?
Well, the agent said it was overpriced.
Okay. Did you have any showings while it was on the market?
Yeah, we had some showings. I think we had 13.
13. Wow. That's hard to believe that, okay, so 13. Did you get an offer during that time?
No.
No offers. Okay. So other than your agent thinking it was overpriced, is there any other feedback that you received from the potential buyers looking at it?
No, and that's the frustrating thing. What was your name again? I don't really care. So that's the frustrating thing, is that we had all these showings, everybody loved the home, nobody bought it.
Okay.
You're down to a minute. Timer behind me.
Okay, hold on, let me think.
Okay, now we got to find a spot on your script.
Yes, I'm like going back to it. Okay. So is not moving an option for you?
No.
Okay, so you have to sell this house in order to move. Is that right? By April.
Well, no, we don't have to sell it. We can rent it. So
Okay.
Moving is not an option. I mean, not moving is not an option.
So in an ideal world, would you rather rent out your house and move to a new state and start your new life there, or actually sell the house and start a new chapter and now you have to worry about your current property here?
Well, I would rather not have the headache, and we can rent something there. We'll rent this out, blah, blah, blah. We're not, I'm just not going to give it away. I know what my house is worth. And I think the real estate agent was crazy to think we're underpriced. That's a big deal. I mean, we're not going to give it away.
What's a price that you'd be comfortable with now in this market, the current market?
Whether you see the asking price, I mean, you saw it on Zillow or something, right? We were asking, $495.
495, but that was 3 months ago. The market has changed.
Well, okay. Well, maybe we'll raise it then.
I ran out of time. Okay.
All right. Time's
All right. So, Natalie, what did you do well?
Well,
I'm going to start out giving you props. He only gave you 30 seconds and you kept him on longer than that.
oh, that's true. Okay. I think I was asking discovery questions.
You were asking a lot of questions. You were very heavy weighted on yes, no, or either or questions.
Okay.
So you weren't able to get a high D like Denny talking. When do you need to be there? April. July at the latest. Where are you going?
Yeah.
Knoxville. What does he do for work?
I don't know.
Okay. You got towards the end, you got into the I'm going to sell him and convince him to sell his house mode, as opposed to just saying, you know what, Denny, all of these reasons you've given me are exactly why we need to meet for about 15 minutes.
Okay.
And in 15 minutes time, if I can't solve your challenges with getting you to Knoxville by April, I won't bother you again.
That's short and sweet. I like that. Okay.
All right. Denny.
Yes. So let me ask, any feedback? I know Yael has typed in some feedback in the chat. You guys, you want to take a look at it. She gave you some props too. Medley, any ideas or feedback from the group before we move on? I do have one thing to say. However, we're still inside our 4 minutes for feedback. Does anybody have any feedback for this role play?
I do.
Yeah, Mark. Hey, good to see you.
Hi. So I think you need to distinguish are you trying to get the appointment or are you trying to list the property over the phone? And what I got was you were digging for more and more information, which is good. But if Denny said you only had 30 seconds, you needed to respect the 30 seconds and first get the appointment and then see if Denny would continue to talk with you.
Okay.
So
Okay,
we've
that's
got,
good.
we're inside 2 minutes. So give us an example of that conversation, Mark, from that point.
So Denny, if I know that you've had an experience with another agent, I'd like to sit down and show you a detailed analysis that I can't do in 30 seconds. So would tomorrow at 4 or tomorrow at 6 be best for us to get together?
Now, what I like about that, it was detailed. Now, however, if you go to personality preferences or styles, I like the DISC. There's others out there. John already identified that I'm a D because I'm kind of direct, a little bit loud. I would probably, and this may be more Mark's personality. What did Mark say to me? This is about listening enhanced conversation. So how did he phrase that question?
He used your words about the 30 second.
Well, he might have that. However, let me just take you out of your suspense. He said, let me give you a detailed evaluation.
Detailed analysis.
Okay.
Now, I know Mark, he's in our marketplace, very accomplished agent, and he probably leans that way. He was probably a CD or something like that. I'm a D. And so he's on the right trail. I'm just, again, putting a microscope on his words. If you know they're a D, do not use detail. Why don't you let the other, so go ahead. Any comment on that, Mark? Are you a C?
I'm an SC. What I wouldn't go over it necessarily with him is you're just going to have to distinguish yourself from everybody else. And you have 30 seconds to do it. So I've got a system or approach. You don't have to say detail. You could use. I have a system for it. I don't need to go into full depth explanation, but I want to show you that it's robust.
Right. And so in the last 17 seconds on the role play, get ready, John. We're going to go into the next one. I don't know who's going into the cage. A couple things. Number one, if you know that they're a D by the pace and their volume. Hey, so what Mark was saying was right. I'll tell you what. First of all, if he's already convinced that his house is not overpriced and he's had these agents 13 showings through this agent working for him, what might you want to say? And that might be, well, if you think it's priced, then it must be the wrong agent. How would you like to see how would you like to have a second opinion and hire the right agent? You don't fight him on the price. One more thing, whenever you ask for feedback, maybe somebody's coming to, they've already been on the market, or it could be an unassisted seller. And I did this on purpose. I said 13 showings. What does that mean to you guys? Anybody but John? What does 13 showings mean to you?
Overpriced.
It's overpriced.
Okay. There's a question I want to pop up right immediately when I say 13 showings.
How many offers have you had?
Well, that's okay. That's okay. However, this is what I'm looking for. I've had the house on the market for 8 months. I've had 13 showings. It's not important the number of showings he's had over the life of the listing. Here's
How long you've been on the market?
Well, no, here's here's the question I want you to write down. How many showings have you had in the last 2 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
That's the question. Forget about all the showings they had 4 months ago.
And
Well,
why
that's
is that key?
I'm sorry?
Why is that key?
Because a properly priced
action?
property should have a minimum of 2 showings per week.
Well, okay, so yeah, I don't know, maybe in your marketplace. Yeah, so aside from that, here's the issue. Is it possible that the seller had 13 showings, however, he hasn't had 2 showings since Easter? What does that say?
Says the market hasn't accepted the price.
Well, it was saying no in Easter, and it's yelling no now. So it's only relevant. And he's had 13 showings in 6 months, but he hasn't had any in 4 months. There's a difference. So
yeah, and to caveat off Denny, I typically when they say I had 25 showings, and I always ask them, that's awesome. When was the last one?
yes. Well, it was yesterday.
Gotcha. And what was the feedback?
Well, okay, but here's what I want you to get. What if he had one yesterday? The feedback doesn't matter. If that was the only showing he's had in 3 months, that's what I want you to drill down. How many? It's kind of like being married. What have you done for me lately? So how many showings have you had lately?
Right.
John, who's next?
Thanks, guys.
You're welcome. Did we lose John?
Tanner. There we go. Sorry, my mic was off. Tanner is next. And if your name happens to show up as Sherry on the screen, please change it to your name because we know you're not Sherry.
All right.
Tanner, what's it going to be, buddy?
I'm gonna do unassisted seller.
Another for sale by owner. Sweet.
Does anyone want to be the unassisted seller? We let you play. This is the easy part. Just follow the rules of the.
I can be the seller. I can be the seller if you want.
Jay is the seller. All right, Jay, thank you for stepping up.
Thank you.
All right. Watch the timer behind me, guys. Here we go. Time has started.
Ring, ring.
Hi there.
I'm calling about the property for sale on 123 Main. Is it still available?
Are you the agent?
Great. My name is Tanner. Yes, I'm a local realtor with Keller Williams. I was wondering if you're cooperating with commission if I bring you a qualified buyer.
Tanner, if you have a buyer, you're most welcome. Otherwise, don't waste my time.
I appreciate that. And I'm sure you have a lot of people call you. And at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is
You're caller number 20 today.
that's good. That means your house is valuable, isn't it? Now, the reason for my call quickly, just to identify those off-market opportunities. So we have you on the list as a valuable property when we get that buyer, because you're not on the multiple listing service at the moment, are you?
What you said your name is again?
My name is Tanner.
Tanner, you know, if you have a buyer, we'll give you 2% commission. So if you don't have a buyer, don't waste my time.
Wonderful. I appreciate that. I mean, if I may ask you, how'd you come up with the price? How'd you come with that price that you have right now, $499?
Yeah, $499 is a steal, and you should come and get your buyer, take a look and get it up. I was told it's a good time to sell, so I'm excited. This is not my first sale, okay? I've sold houses before.
I appreciate that. So is there any room for negotiating the price with a qualified buyer?
Get me an offer. I don't talk verbally. If you get me an offer, yes, we'll negotiate. We'll pay you the commission, 2%.
2%. Okay, I appreciate that. Well, I'm sorry. Jay, I totally respect what you're trying to do, regardless what other people may say. If I may ask you, what's important about selling it in your own, rather than just hiring a professional to get you the most money possible?
I told you already. Yeah, that's what it's all about, the money. I don't think you're going to get me. I'm going to get net same amount of money if you sell the home. I told you I've sold 5 homes before. This is not my first rodeo.
If I can clarify, I just didn't understand quite clearly. So you said that you could sell it for higher than myself?
So, okay, I'm going to stop. You've got 2 minutes. I'm going to stop because you've got the shovel in your hand right now and you're digging a hole. So we'll just stop because then you feel that way. So, and I say that tongue in cheek. Are you clear on the direction you're going, Tanner?
Kinda.
What is your objective right now on the call? And John, get ready. You can then give him the feedback.
My objective is to meet one-on-one with him to present what my value proposition. And but beforehand, I like to kind of like get his acceptance that I'm coming with the intention to help him sell the home, not just to preview the home.
Then was the call cooperative? Hey, I'm your buddy. I'm going to be your golden retriever. I'll help you. Or was it more confrontational, a conversation?
I guess I lost him because he speaks kind of faster than me. I could not match his tone in the beginning. That's what it feels like.
Which means, what's his personality then? What's his personality based on that?
He kind of, I feel like.
He's a pissed off D.
So John, just peel back the onion a little bit, then I'll let me reset the timer for.
I've got one question I would have asked Jay, because he keeps harping on net and 2%. Jay, I get it. I don't want to waste your time. Let me ask you this. If I could show you a way that you can make more money, would you be interested in hearing it?
I just wanted that. I wanted to hear that first thing. It's saving the money.
Answer me, Jay. Don't tell me what you wanted to hear. Just answer me. I'm going high D on you now. Get back in role play.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Awesome. So Jay, if I could show you a way that you could put more money in your pocket, would you be interested in that, in hearing that?
I would be, but how would that be? Can you tell me? I'm listening.
Yeah, you know what? I would love to show you. Takes about 15 minutes. It's today at 4, tomorrow at 5 better.
We have a couple of buyers coming today. How about Monday? You can swing by Monday sometime.
Are you willing to risk losing money between now and then?
Probably not.
Okay.
That was
How's today at 4?
Yeah,
was-
how about 4:30? You can come down at 4:30.
All right, 4:30 works. I'll see you then.
Thank you.
Now, John just demonstrated, you would have felt good. He gave you an appointment, like, okay, I'll meet with you on Monday. However, he went back for, are you sure you want to leave money on the table? What if those two buyers, want to buy it? So that was a great comeback, John, instead of just rolling over. We're okay. We're inside our feedback time. Here's a couple different things. Tanner, you said to him, you're an off-market opportunity.
It's a good line for us.
That's like walking up to a girl at a dance and say, "Are you an off-market opportunity?" I don't think you would want to do that, you guys. What is he?
He's unassisted seller.
He is, but however, he's just a seller that wants to sell. So again, we talked about this in our bold class this past week. Let's watch the words we're talking about. Yes, we know what it is. However, that's not too personal. Another thing, when he said he wanted, now, Jay, this is what I would have done. So you're willing to pay me 2% if I bring you a buyer?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. I tell you what, well, I work with buyers all the time, and they always ask me if I've seen the home. I'd like to see the home. I'm available this afternoon at 4, or would 4:30 be better to take a quick walk through the home?
Okay.
That was the opportunity. I think that for me was the off ramp to have the appointment to look at the home. Now there's no bait and switch on that, because he said he'd compensate me. Go ahead and get the appointment, then have the conversation. The thing, my style, Tanner, you started to have all these conversations with him. I think you missed the opportunity for the appointment right there.
Can I give quick feedback as well?
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, Tanner, I told you I've sold homes before. You could tell me, yeah, definitely. And there's no doubt in my mind you can sell home. You seem to be a knowledgeable guy. I like to work with you. And if there's a way I can show you, I can net you more money, put more money in your pocket, even after paying my fees. Is there a way we can just get together for 20 minutes? Just 20 minutes. 4 o'clock work for the day or 5 o'clock? Just push for the appointment.
Thank you, Jay. You were an awesome seller. I like it when Jay, when you played the seller, you can tell us what you were looking for or hoping for. John seemed to hit the nail right on the head. Tanner, way to play. You play every week. Awesome. Good to have you in the cage match.
Next up, Denny, is Matthew.
Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Okay.
Right.
What do we want to do, Matthew?
I don't know. You pick.
Well, we have the outbound calls and door knocking, and we also have objections. So you have to pick one.
All right. Let's do it for sale. Actually, no. Let's do an expired.
We just did one.
And we did 2 for sale by owners too. You know what, Denny? This is market of the moment. People are seeing them. They're seeing FISBOs. They're seeing expireds.
All right.
Let's
Does
do it.
anybody want to stand up and be an expired seller? All right, Jessica.
I could be expired seller if nobody wants to.
Yeah, Jessica had her hand up. Okay, so anybody, that's okay. Just you guys with your hand up, that's awesome. Is there anyone that does not have their hand up? Participating in the role play as the buyer or seller is the easy part. It's the training wheels. Now you're starting to get comfortable doing role play in front of people. So I'd encourage you to do it. Those people have their hands up, they're already to go mano to mano. So is there somebody that is not ready for be the agent, wants to be the buyer or seller? In this case, a seller.
I'll be the seller, Denny.
Well, you had your hand up. I was just seeing through anybody else. Okay, Jessica, you got 4 minutes, and I guess Matthew, ready, go.
Ring, ring. Ring, ring.
Oh, hello.
This is Jessica.
Excuse me?
This is Jessica.
Who's calling?
This is Matthew with Keller Williams. I know by now your phone's probably ringing off the hook. I noticed your property on Main Street was pulled off the market this morning, and I just want to find out if you've given up on the project of getting that sold.
Well, no, I haven't given up.
Okay, gotcha. Well, just out of curiosity, what do you feel prevented it from selling?
Well, we actually had it sold, but the buyer's financing fell through.
Gotcha. How long were you guys under contract?
45 days.
Wow. When did you need to have the home sold by?
I had to have it sold yesterday, actually, to get into my next home. So the whole deal fell apart.
I'm sorry to hear that. Where was your next home?
We're building a home in Celebration, Florida.
Oh, nice. Okay, what's taking you there?
For weather.
The weather. Okay. Other than the weather,
Yeah.
was there anything else important about getting the celebration?
You know, Matthew, I have to. My daughter is waking up from a nap. Can you call me back?
I certainly can call you back. When would be a better time?
Well, she usually takes a nap between 12 and 1.
Okay, 12 and 1. Gotcha. So I'll give you a call back later this afternoon. And just out of curiosity, if we could still get the home sold, would you be offended if I applied for the job to help you?
You wouldn't offend me, no.
All right, wonderful. So when I give you a call back at say 2 o'clock, we can pinpoint an exact time when we can meet. Is that fair?
Sure, sounds
All
great.
right. Sounds great. Talk to you then.
Interesting.
Thanks.
All right. So you got a minute and 45 seconds. Now you're calling back. It's 2 o'clock or 2:30 or whatever. Go.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, good idea, Denny. So ring, ring. Ring, ring.
Now she's not picking up.
Hello.
No, she is.
Hey, Jessica.
Hello.
Yeah, she stood me up. Hey, Jessica, it's Matthew with Keller Williams giving you a call back as promised. When we left off earlier, you mentioned that you would be open-minded to selling if we could get the home sold. I'm available at most afternoons. What afternoon this week would work good for you?
Well, I think I told you my daughter takes a nap in the afternoon, so afternoons are not good for me.
Okay, gotcha. Well, the
It's
earliest
at that time frame. Just pretend it's at that time frame.
yeah, the earliest I'd be available, say 11:30. Would that work? Are you there?
I just only have 30 minutes.
It's all right.
30
Go.
minutes.
Yeah, I guess I missed. I think she's. Are you frozen?
I think she's frozen.
Yeah, I think she's frozen.
I think she's frozen.
All
All right.
right.
Anyway, I set the
Yeah, I'm
appointment for
frozen.
11:30.
All right. Good enough. Let me reset this. 4 minutes of evaluation. Go, John.
All right. So next up is Jay and Denny. I did send you a message in chat, so take a look at that when you get a chance.
Yeah, but let's give. Okay, I see it. Let's go ahead and break this down for Matthew.
Okay. So that's interesting. First of all, I love the way Jessica played this, because don't we get calls like that just they don't know their script, they don't know their lines, they don't play along, and this is a perfect example of that. Willing to talk to you, but it's got to be at a certain time, right? So Matthew, how did you feel about it when she threw that loop at you?
Perfectly fine. Happens all the time.
Doesn't it?
I just give them a call. Well, but what I do is I take the temperature of the room. Very receptive. I know where she's going. I know that she needed to get there. So all I needed to know right then was, hey, if we could still get the home, great. I'll call you back later. If we could get the home sold still, would you be offended if I applied the job to do so? No, not at all. Great. So I know I've got an appointment. I just have to call back and confirm it.
Yep. No, that was excellent. The one thing that threw me for a loop is, and Jessica paused. I don't know if she paused because of the words you used, and I thought they were great, by the way, applying for the job, because it causes the seller to stop and think, what are you saying?
Right.
It is a much better way of saying, I'd love to see if I'm a good fit to list your home. That's what they expect to hear.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
And when you say something like, I'm applying for the job, what does that put back in the hands of the seller?
It's saying they're in full control, and
100%.
whether they can decide whether I'm a good fit to help them or not. And
Yep.
then when we get there, we set the stage with one of three things is going to happen.
Yep.
And so it's anyway, I do that with every single call I make.
And I absolutely love that approach. So thank you for sharing that with everyone. All right.
Hang on. I went
Go.
a couple
Dan.
different things. We're still on. We still got a minute here. So
Yeah,
Matthew,
minute 47.
Yeah. So Matthew, are you reading the script? Are you following?
No.
You're not following a script.
No.
So have you done it so much you already know what you're saying?
Over probably 5 million calls in 11 years.
Okay, so I mean, you had a script. Now you can say the Pledge of Allegiance without reading it.
Now,
Right?
so the way I mentor and coach agents and I mentor and coaches, my brain has been trained to think in patterns of question asking. So when you give me an objection, I have a question, and it's a script that's internalized, and you have to know what bullets to fire when.
Okay. All right. Well, awesome. Well, what I was noticing the questions that he was now. You can tell somebody who is practiced and experienced and confident because they have better questions. There was only one question he asked I thought was out of place, and I'll get back to that in a second. However, I trust you guys notice every question has a reason. Remember, when you're having a conversation, he was being a little bit methodical and slow because she was cooperative. It wasn't coming off like a D. And then all of a sudden, it could be real. I mean, the daughter's waking up. Life happens, right? So here's what I want you to remember. In a conversation, regardless of the personality style, you do not have an infinite time. What am I saying? I can't find my words. You don't have an infinite amount of time to hit the bullseye, which is get the appointment. So every question better be like close to the bullseye. The only question you ask, I want to ask you about, you're asking like questions on a scale of 1 to 10, 9 and 10 questions. Then you said, how long was it under contract? I'm thinking, okay, I don't see how that's really germane. However, in your thought process, it might have been. Then you went right back to a strong question.
When do you need it sold by?
Yes. Yes.
And the reason I did that, and we ran out of time, Denny, so I'll be very quick. The reason I asked how long it was under contract is because I'm noticing right now in today's market, there's a lot of owners that I keep hearing, well, I was under they were dicking me around for 60 days and now my timeline has elapsed. So now when they said, well, I was under contract, I kind of want to know, hey, how long were you under contract? And they're like, oh, 2 weeks. Well, then it gives me it's a thermostat, as it were.
So it was well done. It was well done. You didn't drill too deep in any particular well. You were covering the bases of, where was the pain? What's your motivation? All that. Really well done. So obviously I can see you made 1 million calls in the last couple of days.
Thank you.
So John, we had a request. And so John.
We've had it a couple times. Jay, if you don't mind sitting tight for just a second, we want to address a few things that came up in chat. And there were 3 or 4 people who sent essentially the same thing. How do you show that you can put more money in their pocket? And we have one of the Sherrys. I'm guessing she's in Breckenridge because I recognize Ann behind her. She's going, yep, I've got that same question. So how many others have that same question? How do you show it?
Yeah.
Okay. So to me, guys, it's a simple conversation of supply and demand. If you have one thing to sell and one person to buy it, how much demand do you have?
Very little.
Very little. So the whole key to this is you have to put doubt in their minds that everybody is seeing it. There's the first thing. Supply and demand. Are they really getting every single possible buyer out there seeing their home?
And what do you get if it doesn't sell?
Yeah. So there's step one. And it's not hard to put that doubt in their mind, is it, guys?
No,
Is
not
everyone seeing it? Matthew, how many real estate agents are in your MLS?
I think we got like six or 8,000, something like that.
Okay. So yes, it's 6,000 agents. And out of 6,000 agents is probably a dozen or 24 that spend time looking for sale by owners. So you have essentially 6,000 agents and all of their buyers who don't get to see the home. So this is mindset for you guys going in. All right.
Remember, this was an expired though.
No, we were talking, that was the for sale by owner, putting more money. That was Jay's particular one, putting more money in their pocket. Then because Jay is bring me an offer and I'll pay you 2% because Jay's cheap. So
Times are tough.
love that. So then the other thing, guys, outside of that, is when you really start looking at the motivation of a purchaser of for sale by owners. What is the prototypical buyer for sale by owner? Why are they buying for sale by owner?
They want to get a deal.
They want to get a deal. What are they looking to save?
Why else would a buyer come directly to you unless it was to get a good deal?
Yeah. So what are they looking to save?
At least 6%. They're trying to save the same commission you are by selling for sale by owner.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Now, would anybody on this call do something on their own just to break even?
I have a personal experience myself for this exact.
Was that, yeah?
I had a rental and I'm like, I'm a realtor. I could get a tenant, no big deal. I don't do
So
tenant.
let's hold that
Here you go.
thought just for a second.
But
Okay.
basically, I was discounting the rent instead of paying the property manager. So
Yeah,
I was like,
no,
not for sale by owners.
It
Don't
makes
do
no
it.
sense. Why would I go build a car, buy all the parts? If I could buy all the parts for a car and assemble it myself for the same cost as going and buying at the dealer, why would I do that?
Right.
And here's the thing. This is not only that, they're looking to save the commission. They're also looking to get a discount. So that's
Right.
2 discounts that they're looking to get. For sale by owner buyers are wholesale buyers. Remember that word. They are wholesale buyers. So, Mr. Seller, are you wholesaling your home or retailing your home? Who do you want to get the profit?
So John, may I interject something, particularly in a for sale by owner? And we've got a minute here before we go on to something else. All right, so John, how much, so you're attempting to put more money in your pocket selling it by yourself, right?
Yep.
How much are you attempting to save?
I'm going to save at least 3%, if not 6%.
Okay, so I'm glad to hear you say that, because if I brought you a buyer, you're willing to I'm sorry to say co-broker. You're willing to pay my broker 3%?
Yeah, I figured I kind of resolved myself to the fact that it's probably going to happen.
Well, again, well done, John, because the National Association of Realtors says about 90% of sellers, we call them unassisted because you're going by yourself. We'll be working with another real estate agent. So you'll be paying out 3%. So you're attempting to save 3%, right?
Yep.
So in the sake of time, if you can get the appointment, now there's going to be one caveat that's coming out right now. It was easy in the last 2 years because we had a rising market. I mean, you could take the Zestimate and multiply by the zip code of the property, and that could be your asking price, and the sellers would get it. We're not in that environment now. And so if it's already on the market, it's been exposed to the market, and the market said no, realistically, even the unassisted seller is overpriced. Now you're going to have to go in there and basically sell yourself and get a listing that's under that number, not above that number. So that would be another conversation. We can't quite get in just 4 minutes. However, we'll pick up on that next week. The thing that I want you to remember, just to put an exclamation, underline what John's doing, is you have to chip away. And one of the best ways to chip away at their savings is most likely they're going to be working and paying a commission to a buyer's agent. So they think they're saving $45,000, but realistically they're saving 20. They're attempting to save 20,000. So with one swing of the hammer, you've cut it in half.
Excellent. Thank you, Den. All right, Jay, what do you want to cover?
We've got Jay had his hand up, but I think there was somebody else. Z, are you still here? Did you have your hand up?
Z. Okay.
Did she leave?
Yeah, I think she might have left. Denny.
All right, so Jay's up.
Hi, I like to role play expired listing.
Nobody wants objections? My gosh. Does anyone want to be the
Tanner, you can get even. I was nasty to you. Tanner, you want to get even with me?
Oh, okay.
That's fine. All right.
Tanner,
Little tit for tat. All right, Tanner.
are you there? Tanner, are you there?
Thanks.
All right, go. 4 minutes, go.
Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hello, is it Tanner?
Yes, it is. Who is this?
Hey, Tanner, my name is Jay Mehta. I'm a local realtor with Keller Williams, and I'm sure you know that your house is some of the market today, and I'm calling because I'm confident we can sell your house and let you know how we could do that in a different market today. What time works for a meeting? 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. today?
And I like your confidence, but what tells you that I will just go and, meet with you? I just don't understand that part.
Tanner, you were there in the market for 6 months. I know it's not a pleasant feeling. I mean, it's a long time. You did not get the home sold. I completely get it. So if you were to get a home sold, I was just proposing a 20-minute meeting. That's what it'll take. I can get together at 4 or 5 p.m. What time works again, Tanner?
Thank you, Jay. May I ask you just one question?
Please.
Where were you for those 6 months when my house was on the market?
That's a great question, Tanner. I completely get your frustration or concern what happened there. Now, I've sold 4 homes in your neighborhood when you were listed on the market. So when we take a listing, my team, we ensure we get the listing sold. I was 100% committed to my sellers to get that. Besides, I didn't even know your home was on the market. And that's precisely the let's get together, because I've sold already 4 homes in the neighborhood and there are other buyers who are looking in the neighborhood. What time works again? I can swing by about 5 p.m. Is that better for you?
How about this, Jay? You could send me your information and I'll get back to you.
Tanner, it looks like you still want to get the home sold, right?
Probably.
And you don't want to be on the market again for 6 months. You want to get it sold sooner and be done with it, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I definitely don't want to, waste another 6 months.
Okay, so I could send you a reference of the 4 neighbors. All I'm asking is it would take about 15 to 20 minutes where I can show you how exactly we got those buyers for your neighbors. And that way you don't have to go through the same experience again. I completely get it. It'll take just about 20 minutes. Can I swing by about 5 p.m. today?
Well, here's the thing, Jay. I appreciate you again. Now, I tried with someone that I didn't know.
Yeah.
And it didn't work, obviously. And now I'd like to try with the referral that I got from my close family member. So probably we're going to go with someone that we know.
So, Tanner, let me ask you, I mean, you're trying to help your family member. That's understandable. Would you really like to sell the home or just help a family member?
No, he's not a family member. It's just a referral from a family member, though.
Tanner, you owe it to yourself. You need a second opinion. Now, if you're going to get a brain surgery done, won't you get a second opinion? All I'm asking is there's no obligation on your part. You don't even know me what I get to the table. All I'm requesting is 20 minutes of your time. I'm going to leave you much better with a lot of great information, how we got these buyers, and leave you with a nice customized report. And it won't take more. So once again, I could swing by 5 p.m. Tanner. Would that work?
Okay. Well, 5 p.m. doesn't work.
Well, just forget about that. Forget about the time. So if you want to throw them back something else, if you say 5 doesn't work, but 4:30 works, the same objective has been accomplished. Anything else you want to get even with him on?
Well, I would have asked, before, I always do that, find out if I'm the only decision maker before I really go out there and meet with them. And he didn't ask that if I'm actually the decision maker.
Now, how would one ask that question? If you'd asked me that question or asked my wife that question, she would come through the phone at you.
I don't know, Denny. We all have differences, but yeah.
I would ask.
The only time I ever ask a question like that is when I call back to pre-qualify the appointment.
Exactly.
Yep.
Once I get the appointment, I would ask that on pre-qualification. Would all the decision makers be there? You and your wife, there are 2 people. Would she be there as well?
That is a softer way of asking the same question. That's what I was getting at. So that's the 4 minutes. So how do you think you did there, Jay?
I want to make sure I get a good connection to get an appointment, but it was more of a tussle actually.
Before John gives you a rundown, then I'll give you a couple little comments I had. Where are you from? I mean, where do you work?
I work in San Francisco Bay Area, California.
Okay, awesome. John, go ahead. 4 minutes.
So,
we're going to review him.
I can tell that Jay has been studying and practicing and working scripts for a long time. I've heard all of these over and over again, and guess what? They work really well, and he owns them because they roll off his tongue naturally. The one thing, Jay, is you tend to ask 2 and 3 questions at a time. Deep breath, ask your question, and then get into that mode. I just got on an elevator and have to talk to people and no one wants to speak mode. You ask the question and then let Tanner give him the rope and let him hang himself. Okay? Ask the question, stop. Because if you do 2 and 3 and 4 questions in a row, he's going to answer the one that he wants to answer without giving you any information.
Yeah, it's like sending 3 texts. You're going to get 1 answer.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
First person to talk loses.
Yep.
So, Jay, here a couple different things. for everyone. And this is what I love about being able to listen. I don't have to think about what I'm saying. I can share some things with you. So notes you may want to take. Is there any difference or a value in saying, instead of your home has been on the market, or I like home or house has been on the market 6 months, your house has been on the market 180 days. Is that not a little stronger? Next. And you're using Jay, you could play a part in The Wolf of Wall Street.
Thank you.
Maybe not. Your pace is very fast. Now, that's awesome when you're talking to somebody who's comfortable with a fast pace. However, for people that aren't, you might be a little bit overwhelming. So my question to you is, do you in real, and I know you might be running on the 4-minute clock here, when you're talking to someone who does not have that pace, are you cognizant you're going to have to slow down?
Yeah. Thank
Good.
you.
You said get your home sold. What I like to be able to do, and you didn't do it right away, when you have the opportunity, it's okay. He's working to get an appointment. They really want to get moved somewhere. Now you came out with that right away, get your home sold, which is okay. However, if you already knew where they wanted to go and they wanted to move to Atlanta, I mean, do you still want to get to Atlanta? That is a better, more powerful, and potentially emotionally charged question versus get your home sold. That's logical. Oh, here, and last thing, he was the classic Rocky. I was watching the Rocky Apollo Creed in this, and what I mean by that is every time Jay got knocked down, what did he come back with? He stood back up, and he's not out. He's going to come back up and almost ignore it and then get right back in the fight. That's exactly what we have. And that's what great sales trainers teach. You've got to be able to go for 4 or 5 no's. And that was a good example of that, Jay.
I keep 5 coins ready with me. I'm kind of counting. He said 4 or 5 no's. I'm not giving up a 1 or 2. I'm just want to make sure at least 5 I've done that. But you're right. Slowing down and making connection would make a big, huge difference.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So Denny, I have a logistics question wrapping the year up here, my friend.
Okay. Is next week another holiday?
No, next week we're good. Next week's the 16th. But then it's the 23rd and the 30th.
Well,
Aren't you going to see your wife sometime in that time frame?
I will not.
Oh, God.
I will not see her the 17th till probably the first week of February. So, yeah. So I'll tell you what, I mean, 23rd, I have nothing else to do. I'm in Florida. I don't shovel snow. I don't have Christmas decorations to put up or take down. And so I'm
good with it.
All right. Next week we're on.
Yep.
We're going to have a special Christmas morning mastery level role play too, if you want to be on. If you're tired, the kids will be up at 5. They'll open their presents. 5:15 it's done. Let's role play at 6 a.m. Who's in?
Hey, sounds great. Because I got leads to call right after that.
If you want to stand out, make calls Christmas morning.
That's right. It's so much easier. The introduction. Merry Christmas. I saw your home came off the market.
Yeah, well, Dial might want to say Happy Hanukkah. So, so John, let's close. I've got a minute to go. You guys, great participation. You've seen some other folks here that have practiced their craft. Nice job, you guys. Where's your ahas? Something you learned today. Come on, give us 3 or 4. Tell us why you're listening. Share it with your friends. So go ahead. Let's hear them.
Always take the temperature of the conversation.
Love that.
Always. And that's the one thing I noticed today. And in my own personal calls throughout the day, most of the role plays today, not one of them took the temperature of the conversation, and they were both they're all speaking different languages to their prospect.
And that works in relationships. Like if you want to go golfing, guys, don't ask your wife if you go golfing if it's the wrong temperature.
I would say, identify and have your conversation according to the personality of the person you're talking with. That was like, it's the
right. That's what I mean by taking the temperature. You gotta, if Jay's fast talking and Tanner's slow talking, You got to match that. And if Jay's D and Tanner's I, you're having two different conversations.
Yeah.
Got it.
I think the fact that then
What else, guys? Come on. Give us some more
Be really
love.
clear on your objective for the call. So if it's to make an appointment, that's what you're doing. You don't need to explain everything that you're trying to do. You're just trying to set the appointment.
Nice
Excellent.
job.
Thank you, Ann.
Nice job.
Exactly.
Slow down in between the questions. Don't add 2, 3, 4 questions, 1 questions, and then slow down.
Nice job, Z. Any more?
I'd like to
Just a question for
Go
you,
ahead,
Danny,
Natalie, and then Al.
question for Danny and for you, John. So you know how we have the model, right?
Yep.
For expires and FSBOs, if the intention is to get the appointment, right, and you have less than 3 minutes, what are those key questions that we would need to ask before they hang up to get the appointment?
Would you take an offer if it came in today?
Do you still
Okay.
want to move? Do you still want to move?
Where were you going?
Yeah, if you could get your number right now, hit a magic one, you can get your number right now. With no hassles, would you do it? It's going to have to be some sort of a question. Remember, the model that we have, the isolate, the acknowledge, isolate, clarify, answer, close is an objection model. And guess why we don't use that on the phone? Because objections are handled at the table.
Different skill set.
Yeah, and to kind of to simplify it, one of my mentors years ago had said the only 3 things that matter in real estate, the only 3 things you need to know: why they're buying or selling, when they need to buy or sell by, what happens if they don't. So that's what you're looking to glean when you're on the phone with them. Why, but you don't do it just by asking those blunt questions. Hey, why are you selling? When do you need to sell? There's a dance to it.
Right.
To get the appointment.
Al, you had one. What do you want to say, Al?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say the comment as far as saying when dealing with the expired is that you like to apply for the job.
Nice. Yeah, it was a great line.
Mm.
Well, you guys, I appreciate you investing your
Thanks,
time.
everyone.
This is recorded. It goes to my YouTube channel, Denny Grimes The Mastery. And whoever wants to be the 600th, you are going to be the lucky winner of a lot of stuff. If I get any fruitcakes for Christmas, you get them. So, all right, be careful out there.
All right, guys. See you next week.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Great
you.
job, John.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
What about Denny?
Great job, Danny, always.
Good job.
I was talking about
Danny.
the scrape off.
Bye-bye.